Hi, I'm Jen O'Hanlon, Principal Agent of the O'Hanlon Group. Welcome to Episode 1, Season 1 of Vineyard Spotlight. And just to give you a quick background of how Vineyard Spotlight has come to be, during the pandemic, right when everything got shut down, I wanted to do something for the community to support local businesses. So I decided to do some Facebook Live interviews. And it went really well. And what I found was there were so many people on the island doing really interesting things and great things for our community. So I stopped doing the interviews when everything opened up. And of course, real estate got very busy. But here we are a few years later, and I've really missed learning about different things that people are doing on the island. So this is the Vineyard Spotlight series, and episode 1 is with Nina Lombardi. And Nina is the operations director at the YMCA, and she was one of the first interviews I had during the pandemic because, of course, everybody knows they had to shut down, and it was a very difficult time for them. So we're not going to focus on that, but we've got a few things to talk about. One is the big expansion that has just been, some of the details have been released. So we do want to talk about that. But first, Nina, if you could just give everybody a little bit of background of you and how long you've been at the Y, and then sort of how things are going since you did open back up after the pandemic.
Sure, yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to not be on Zoom from our houses this time. And so I started with the Y about 6 weeks before we opened the doors in 2010. And I started out as the membership director there. It was a very exciting time for me, having grown up on the island, to be a part of a major health and wellness organization opening up on the island and being a part of it. And so throughout the years, my responsibilities and contributions to the community at the Y have grown into Director of Operations, and so thankful to be where we are now in 2023, looking to the, past the pandemic and on to the new bright future. That being said, when we reopened in September 2020, it was pretty quiet around the Y, which is unusual from, participating there on many levels.
Yes, even after reopening, it was a long road, for sure.
Yes, and we would hear things like, no one's ever going to go back to the gym again. People aren't going to want to do group exercise classes again. And, we had a lot of restrictions and limitations that we worked through. And I'm just grateful to say where we stand today, there are, 20 plus people in group exercise classes, well over 500 people checking in to work out every day, as well as swim lesson enrollment, after school program back and increased since pre-pandemic time. So it's really grateful to be delivering that community impact again.
Oh, good. That is great. I know for me, I work out outside with Margarita's group early in the morning. And that's one of the funny things where the pandemic, some things, people learned, we like to be outside, even in the winter.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great. Now, the other thing about during the pandemic, I remember the movie series, I think that started out by behind the Ice Arena.
Yeah.
And that is still going on.
Yeah.
And then you also have a partnership with the Ice Arena. Can you talk a little bit more about those two partnerships and how that's evolved?
Sure. So again, one of the amazing creative ideas that came from the pandemic, as well as a community partnership and collaboration with the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival, was the drive-in at the Y. And it's been operating now since summer 2020. We will continue it this year and for years to come. And it's an annual fundraiser for both the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival as well as the YMCA. So just, again, a great community collaboration to join two organizations together that might not seem like they initially go together, and then actually end up having this great fit for us being the host facility and helping to deliver the space, and the film festival helping to deliver the great productions that they put on. And it continues to be pay what you can. So anyone attending the drive-in You can pay $5 if that's all that you have, or $20, $200 or more. And then the way that we use it as a fundraiser is that we solicit within our donor community for sponsorships, which helps make the drive-in a pay as you come.
Great.
So.
And then the ice arena,
Yeah.
that is relatively new partnership? Or?
Yes, so we entered in a management agreement with them about a handful of years ago that eventually led to a merger where the ice arena became a part of the YMCA organization on the island here at the end of 2018, which has helped to make the ice arena sustainable for the unbelievable youth serving programs that they have have on our island, and be able to have a host facility that can help deliver those programs. It brought it from sort of a volunteer-based organization to under the Y umbrella to help us provide some of the resources that they need to expand their growth within the community.
Great.
Yeah.
And it's all right there.
All right
it's
there.
Like a hub.
Yeah, our little campus. It's great.
Exactly.
We've got great
Love
neighbors with community services and the high school across the street. And so, yeah,
Okay.
we're a great campus.
Great. What other programs have you seen a lot of growth in, a lot of interest in over the last year or so?
Yeah, so once we reopened, we were running sort of a virtual remote learning program. As we know, we came back to school looking very different than what we saw it before, and so for those families that needed that resource, we provided it. After school program, it was very odd to see only a handful of kids or more on any given day. And so I'm happy to say that from 2021 to 2022, we saw 45% growth in our after school program, which is really helping to serve our island families that are working to live on Martha's Vineyard and be a part of our amazing community. So that has been great to see. In terms of our aging older adults, we have over 200 people participating weekly in water aerobics, which has been unbelievable to see. And despite the growth of Peloton and other at-home gym things, our spin program has grown exponentially with over 150 consistent dedicated riders a week. But one area that we have had some growth, but also still are looking to get back to pre-pandemic times, is with our membership. We reopened at 50% of what our membership was in 2019, which you can imagine as a nonprofit with membership as one of our greatest areas of impact and revenue, has been a challenge for us. And so we are at about 86% of what our 2019 numbers for membership were. Mm-hmm. And so, we're working to grow those membership numbers and every day. So.
Well, after everybody sees this episode,
yes.
I'm sure they'll be running in to join. So, as far as challenges, which membership that is a little bit
mm-hmm.
of a challenge, as you mentioned, what other obstacles are you guys seeing recently?
Yeah, so our space has been a challenge for a number of years. We have a beautiful, expansive facility. However, we do have a lot of members in the community using it, from membership people working out on cardio machines to the freeway area to local community groups looking for to host a lacrosse meeting or a soccer meeting. Our ability to grow our programs with the growing needs of our community. Our community has undoubtedly changed in the last few years, and it's grown. Mm-hmm. And our capacity to grow and adapt with those changes is limited in our current footprint. So that is an area where we're looking to expand.
Well, that is a perfect segue into what I'm dying to ask about.
Yeah.
Is the expansion. So I just read in the paper that has been announced.
Yes.
And the plans and everything, and I was staring at the plans,
mm-hmm.
so excited. I personally would love an indoor track.
Yeah.
So can you tell everyone a little bit about what the plans are and
Sure.
a timeline and all that?
Well, it's funny that we opened in 2010, and actually this phase 3 was a part of that original building plan. So the Y is essentially incomplete, as the initial visionaries that were a part of this community that knew that this island needed a YMCA knew that we needed this phase 3. And unfortunately, at the time we were building in 2010, it wasn't a reality at the time. Now it's closer to being a reality, and I'm so excited. It will allow us to have a multi-use field house, which has 3 thoughtfully laid out floors, from the top floor being the expansion of the Health and Wellness Center, a mind-body studio, as well as an indoor track above what would be a multifunctional field house, which would have lines on the court from anything from basketball to pickleball to anything in between, potentially a golf simulator, as well as a 3rd floor that would have a designated cycling room, another fitness area, as well as some space for dance studio, and so lots of exciting expansion possibilities.
Oh, I love it. It's great. There are so many organizations, like you said, that would use the Y if they could, if the space was available.
Yeah.
So it's great, really, for the community as a whole as well.
Yeah, so we're
great.
hoping with this expansion we can not only grow Y programs, but also grow future collaborations with other YMCA nonprofits that may need space within our community.
So financially speaking, obviously this is a big project, and I think I read that there is a certain percentage already, earmarked for that. Do you have any of that information, or a timeline for being able to start once it's financially ready?
Sure. So we have been fundraising actually for a number of years, building upon this dream. So we are on our way with what will be obviously a great undertaking of raising money for a 36,000 square foot new expansion in our facility. So we are certainly hopeful for community support, that they can see what impact this will bring to our community and the future growth of it, as well as our donors, I think, are excited to see the future for the Y in this way.
Yes, I mean, I for one am definitely supportive of it, and will do it whatever I can to help. If people do want to make a monetary donation, do they just go online to the Y's website, or should they call if they want to make a really substantial donation?
Yeah, so our CEO, Jill Roby-Axtell, is very hands-on in this fundraising campaign, and she is an amazing community leader who's seeing this charge through with our newly appointed development director, Erin Tilton, who is a longstanding member of this community as well. So they are 2 of the humans leading the charge that are great resources to speak with. In addition to, if you're looking to reach out as a community donation, you can always visit our website where there is a support option to donate online there.
Okay, and the website is?
YMCAMV.org, and stay tuned to future ways to give through the drive-in and other community events as we build upon this dream that's so hopefully coming within breaking ground potentially in sometime in the near future.
Okay, everyone stay tuned for that. And thank you, Nina, so much for being on.
Thank you.
And next week, we will have Martha's Vineyard Community Services on with Miranda from the O'Hanlon Group. So everybody tune in for that, our second episode of Vineyard Spotlight. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.